Well, we've already seen him as a lad in the photograph with Tommy Steele at the beginning of the programme, and now it's time to welcome him to the studio tonight as he celebrates his 40th birthday this week. Of course, it's that well-known tenement funster, Alex Harvey. Welcome to the programme, Alex.
It's great to be here, Bob.
Tell us about that photograph with Tommy Steele. What actually was happening then?
Well, what happened was that I won this competition, a teenage idol competition, and I became Scotland's Tommy Steele. And because of that, the people that organised the competition took me along to meet Tommy. And we played a bit of Hank Williams to each other.
Yeah.
And it was good, because he was a gas, really.
Yeah.
So after that we went out, we had an adventure down the docks, because he'd been at sea for a while. We had a good time.
When did you put the soul band together? How much later was that?
That was about 1958.
Because I remember, I jotted it down actually, because I thought it was an interesting quote. We got bookings, you said at the time, but once people heard us, return dates were rare, because we were too much for them. What actually were you trying to do with that band at that time?
We were only trying to be a dance band. We were just trying to play music for dancing. But I suppose it was different kind of people that were in the band. It was difficult to get a saxophone player and a bass player. That was very difficult. Bass guitars, now that was difficult. We had, I think, the third or fourth one in Great Britain, bass guitars. We saw it at a Lionel Hampton concert. There was this thing, I think it was Montgomery, one of the brothers, Monk, I think. And everybody went to this concert in the Usher Hall. Lionel Hampton's band, and there was no bass, right? And then everybody suddenly realised that this geezer playing this thing, a little bit of guitar, and that was the bass.
Yes.
So that was it. Everybody went run amok. Yeah. Of course, bass players that could play really good, they don't think like that. They didn't harken onto it too much. They didn't like it too much.
Because that band really lasted a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, I landed up to 1965.
Yeah.
66.
And what happened then? Because later you were involved with Ray Russell's Rock Workshop.
Yeah. That's when I was in here. That's when I met Ray. And we worked on an album and done a few concerts. Good guitar player, Ray Russell.
Did you enjoy the time you spent in here?
Loved it. Every bit of it. Yeah.
You were just playing guitar at that point in the band, yeah. How long were you there?
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
But it was a good gig, Bob, because you could, there was like, you had Gary Boyle on earlier. Like he did here a bit, he played guitar in here. There was a pool of musicians that done the whole show, you see. So that meant that you had time to, if a gig came up like the Ray Russell gig, or anything like that, then you could put a dep in, and you could go out and play someplace.
Let's talk about the sensational Alex Harvey band, and how you and Tear Gas teamed up to form that band. How did that happen?
An agent friend of mine told me about Tear Gas. I was looking for a band. I'd written some songs. And he told me about this band in Glasgow called Tear Gas. So I went up to hear them, and they were very raucous, loud, heavy and undisciplined. And it was a very happy marriage. Because they needed me, my experience, I suppose, and I needed their enthusiasm and sort of like balls, as they say. And it worked. They were sort of like a bit introverted on stage at first, and they were extroverted off stage. And I had to change that around about so that they used what they had, which was incredible talent. I think it's probably the greatest band in the world.
Just picking up something you said there, Alex, and just finally to round off, because I read a very interesting quote about a year ago, actually, which I've remembered since. in Melody Maker when you described yourself as the daddy of the band, helping them survive. I can't remember exactly quite what you said, but it said something like, this business eats people up. I know people who were stars in 1960 who can't light a cigarette today. Now, what do you think the state of the music business is today, then?
It's growing, isn't it? It's growing. I mean, it's not any worse than it used to be. It's better. Things get better all the time. I don't believe in the good old days, really. I mean, I think it's better now than it's ever been. But the business does tend to devour people that don't understand it, or don't get a chance to serve some kind of apprenticeship, because it can eat you up. And I suppose I'm a kind of director. I'm the director of the band. Like as if we were making a movie and the band's playing the soundtrack and I'm the director. And I've already been through the various things that can happen to a young person in the music business. So it's good fun with the band now.